5.2 Part 2 Quartiles and Five Number Summary. Quartiles are specific percentiles that separate the data into quarters. They may or may not be part of the data set, just like percentiles. The first quartile, Q1, is the 25th percentile. The second quartile, Q2, is the 50th percentile, which is also the median. And we learned how to find the median back in 5.1. And the third quartile, Q3, is the 75th percentile. The median, or Q2, splits the data into halves. 50% of the data sits below the median, and 50% of the data sits above it in ordered data set. So it has to be in numerical order. The first quartile, Q1, is the middle value of the lower half. That is important. And the third quartile, Q3, is the middle value of the upper half. Okay, so five number summary. Five number summary is descriptive statistics that provides information about the five most important percentiles from the data set. The sample minimum, the first quartile, Q1, the second quartile, which is also your median, and the third quartile, Q3, and the sample maximum. So we're going to find the five number summary for example 3. Need to scroll down here. Go ahead and do that. All right, so let me go ahead and write out a little chart here. What we're going to do is we need to find the minimum. We need to find Q1, Q2, Q3, and the maximum. So the min and max are really easy to find. The minimum is just your smallest number or the lowest number. And again, this has to be ordered in numerical order, smallest to largest, and then your largest number is your max. So we're going to go ahead and find the median here, which is your Q2. To do that, we need to use our position formula, which is n plus 1 divided by 2. So we need to find out how many data values we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 data values. So we'll go ahead and put that into the formula. This is to find our Q2. So that's what we're finding right now. And you always want to find that first. That's very important. So we'll put in there 9 plus 1. So all you do is count up how many data values you have, add 1, divide by 2. And then we're getting 5. So this is a position formula, remember. So this is the position where the median or the second quartile is located. So we need to find the fifth number. So this is first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So our median is 6. Now we need to find the middle of the lower half. So that would be our first quartile. So the middle of the lower half, oops, that is our Q1. So let's go ahead and find that. So let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers below our median, and which is our Q2, and 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers above. So we have, just pretend that these numbers aren't here for a minute and say, okay, if we have 4 data values, then our n would be 4. We just put it in the position formula, add 1, divide by 2. We're getting 5 divided by 2, which is 2.5. And again, this is position. There's no 2.5 position. So whenever you're using the position formula and you get a decimal, what you got to do is use the number that's in the position right below it and right above it. So we're going to use the second number and the third number. And what you're going to do is take the average of that. So we need the average of those two numbers. So the second number, this first second is 2, and the third number is 4. So these two numbers are in the middle of the lower half of the numbers, the data values. So we take 2 and 4, add them together, divide by 2. and we get 3. And again, this is position. So we need, oh, that is not position. Oh my gosh. So sorry. I was looking up here. This is the average. So this is actually our answer. Goodness gracious. So our answer is 3. Oh, well. Okay, so that means that that's right in the middle of the lower half of our data values. So there's 2 numbers below it, 2 numbers above it. So that's our Q1. Now we need to find the middle of the upper half. Okay, so if you're looking at the upper half, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So just ignore this for a minute and saying, what's the middle of 4 numbers? Well, it'd be the 2.5 position. So we're going to take the second and third number, if you're just ignoring all these other ones. So 8 and 10 are the 2 middle numbers, and then we're just going to take the average. The average, just like we did to find the middle of the lower half. So you can see that down here, they took 8 and 10, added together, divide by 2, and they got 9. So 9 is our Q3, quartile 3, is the middle of the upper half, and you can see there's 2 numbers below, 2 numbers above it. And if you want to read through this, they have it all organized and it looks very nice. And that'll help explain it some more if you want to pause the video and look through that. All right, let's go ahead and find the 5-number summary for this data set. First, I'm going to just make this into a little chart or put lines here. Okay, so for our minimum value, well, first make sure it's ordered. So yes, this is a numerical order. That's very important. So this is our smallest number. That would be our min. Largest number is 20, so that's our max. And now you always find, please make a note, find your median first, which is your second quartile. I don't know what's going on with my digital pen, but my cues are looking funny. Okay. So this is our second quartile, so find this first. Very important. So we'll find the middle of all of the data. So Q2, that's what we're going to look for. So what you do is you just use your position formula, which is n plus 1 divided by 2. And how many data values do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have our n is 15. So you just add 1, divide by 2, and that gives us our position. Yeah, I got a little mixed up before, but yeah, just keep track of what's your position and what's actually your Q1, Q2, and Q3. So this means this is the 8th number. That would be our Q2. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. All right, so our Q2 is 13. And that's the number smack dab in the middle of all of them. So now to find Q1, what we need to do is find the middle of the lower half. Now we could find the middle of the upper half first. You don't always have to find Q1 first after you find Q2. So anyway, but the Q1 is the middle of the lower half. So how many numbers are below the median in the lower half? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be 7. So you just throw it into your position formula. Just add 1, divide by 2. Get 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So the fourth number, first, second, third, fourth. So let's check. There's 3 numbers below it, 3 numbers above it. Good. So it's the middle of the lower half. I'm going to change colors. So that's 10. And then the middle of the upper half, what you can do is just ignore all of this. Pretend it's just not there. And you just have this upper half data values and just pretend that's all you have. And what's the middle of that? Well, you're still going to have 7 numbers because you're going to have 7 numbers above, 7 numbers below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're going to find the 4th position. These are positions. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 19 is Q3. That is because there's 3 numbers below it, 3 numbers above it. If you want to label all these up here, you could say min, Q1, Q2, Q3, max. And your Q1 is considered your 25th percentile, your Q2 is considered your 50th percentile, and also your median, and your Q3 is considered your 75th percentile. All right, let's look at the last problem here, example. Actually, what I'm going to do is just let you pause the video and you can look through this, but they did write all this out. Here, the frequency just tells you how many times your data value occurs. So we have 2 8s, 1 9, 2 10s, and 3 11s. So go ahead and try to find your 5 number summary. And then if you get stuck, you can refer to their solution down here.